Discovery and decision. The night sky above the Atacama Desert glowed with countless stars, their light unpolluted by human civilization. At the ALMA Observatory, Dr. Elena Reyes peered intently at her computer screen, sifting through the usual cosmic static. As lead astronomer for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence (SETI) project, she had spent countless nights like this, hoping for a sign that humanity wasn't alone in the universe. Suddenly, an anomaly caught her eye. A pattern, faint but unmistakable, pulsed through the noise. Elena's heart raced as she ran it through various filters, eliminating every possible terrestrial source. This was it, the moment she had dreamed of since childhood. "Dr. Hoffman," she called out, her voice echoing through the quiet control room. "I think you need to see this." Dr. Marcus Hoffman, a veteran astrophysicist with silver hair and kind eyes, hurried over. His eyebrows shot up as he studied the readout. "My God," he whispered, "is this what I think it is?" Elena nodded, her eyes shining. "It's a signal. Artificial, and definitely not from Earth." Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the discovery. The signal originated from a star system 40 light-years away in the constellation Lyra. Its complexity defied natural explanation. This was a message, sent with clear intent. As news of the discovery spread, humanity reeled. Religious leaders called for calm, scientists worked around the clock, and world governments scrambled to respond. The United Nations convened an emergency session, establishing the Global Response to Extraterrestrial Contact (GREC) initiative. Dr. Elena Reyes found herself thrust into the spotlight, testifying before the UN Security Council. "The signal appears to be a distress call," she explained, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. "We've detected patterns consistent with mathematical constants, along with what we believe to be coordinates within their star system." A distress call. The Chinese representative leaned forward. From whom? And why? Elena took a deep breath. "We don't know yet, but the urgency in the message is clear. Whatever sent this, they need help." Debate raged for weeks. Some argued for caution, fearing a trap or an invasion. Others saw it as humanity's moral duty to respond. In the end, the decision was made. Earth would answer the call. The Artemis Project was born, named after the Greek goddess of the hunt and exploration. Its mission, to send a crew of Earth's finest to investigate the source of the signal and, if possible, render aid. Captain Zara Hendricks stood before the selection committee, her posture rigid and eyes forward. At 35, she was one of the youngest candidates for mission commander, but her record spoke for itself. Multiple tours with the International Space Station, advanced degrees in astrobiology and xenolinguistics, and a cool head under pressure. "Captain Hendricks," Admiral Chen began, "why should we entrust you with humanity's first interstellar mission?" Zara met his gaze unflinchingly. "Because I understand the stakes, sir. This isn't just about scientific discovery or making history. We're potentially the first responders to a civilization in crisis. I have the skills to lead this mission, but more importantly, I have the judgment to know when to act and when to hold back." Her words resonated with the committee. 2 days later, Zara received the news. She would command the Artemis. The next year was a whirlwind of preparation. While engineers worked tirelessly to modify and upgrade Earth's most advanced spacecraft for the long journey, Zara assembled her crew. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant quantum physicist whose theories on faster-than-light travel had revolutionized propulsion technology, would serve as chief science officer. Major Derek Stone, a decorated Air Force pilot with nerves of steel, was chosen as Zara's second-in-command. Dr. Aisha Okafor, a renowned xenobiologist, would be responsible for any potential first-contact scenarios. Rounding out the core team was Chen Wei, a prodigy in artificial intelligence and communications. As the launch date approached, the eyes of the world turned to Cape Canaveral. Millions gathered to witness the historic moment, while billions more watched on screens around the globe. The Artemis stood on the launch pad, a gleaming testament to human ingenuity and hope. In her quarters, Zara took a final moment of quiet reflection. She thought of her family, of the sacrifices made to reach this point. The weight of responsibility settled on her shoulders, not just for her crew, but for all of humanity. A knock at the door roused her from her thoughts. It was Derek, his usual cocky grin replaced by a look of quiet determination. "It's time, Captain." Zara nodded, squaring her shoulders. "Let's make history." The walk to the launch vehicle was surreal. Cheering crowds lined the path, held back by security barriers. Zara caught glimpses of signs bearing messages of support and hope. As they climbed into the elevator that would take them to the Artemis, she shared a look with her crew. No words were needed, they were ready. Inside the spacecraft, the team ran through final checks with practiced efficiency. Zara's voice was calm as she communicated with mission control. "Artemis to base, all systems a go. We are ready for launch." The countdown began. Zara closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the vibrations of the massive engines beneath her. This was it, the culmination of humanity's dreams of reaching the stars. 3, 2, 1, ignition. The roar was deafening as the Artemis lifted off, pushing against Earth's gravity with unimaginable force. Zara felt herself pressed into her seat, the G-forces straining against her chest. Through it all, a sense of exhilaration filled her. As the spacecraft broke through the atmosphere, the blue of Earth's sky gave way to the infinite black of space. For a moment, all was quiet. Then, Chen's voice broke the silence, filled with awe. "My God, it's beautiful." Zara allowed herself a small smile. "It certainly is, but we've got a long way to go. Let's get to work, people." As the Artemis set course for the distant star that had called to them, Zara thought of the billions of souls they'd left behind. Whatever they discovered out there in the vastness of space, humanity's future would never be the same. The journey had begun. The journey begins. The vastness of space stretched before the Artemis, an endless sea of stars and darkness. Inside the ship, Captain Zara Hendricks floated through the central corridor, her movements graceful in the zero-gravity environment. It had been 3 months since their departure from Earth, and the crew had settled into a rhythm of work and routine. Zara made her way to the command center, where Major Derek Stone was monitoring their course. "Status report, Major." Derek's fingers danced across the holographic display. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're on course and on schedule. The new quantum drive is performing even better than expected." Zara nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Dr. Tanaka will be pleased to hear that. Any word from home?" "Latest transmission came in about an hour ago. No major news, but..." Derek hesitated, his usual bravado faltering for a moment. "My daughter took her first steps." Zara placed a hand on his shoulder, understanding the bittersweet nature of the moment. "We'll get you home to her, Derek, with one hell of a story to tell." In the science lab, Dr. Yuki Tanaka and Dr. Aisha Okafor were engrossed in their work. Yuki's hands moved rapidly as he manipulated a 3D model of the quantum drive, while Aisha pored over data on potential alien biology. "The drive's efficiency is remarkable," Yuki mused, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "At this rate, we might be able to shave a few months off our journey time." Aisha looked up from her station. "That's assuming our destination is still inhabited. The signal we received, it's already decades old." Yuki's expression sobered. "True, but we have to believe they're still out there. Otherwise, what's the point of all this?" Before Aisha could respond, an alarm blared through the ship. Red lights flashed, and Chen Wei's voice came over the intercom. "All hands to stations. We have an anomaly approaching." The crew scrambled to their positions as Zara's voice cut through the chaos. "Report, Chen. What are we dealing with?" Chen's fingers flew over his console. "Unknown object approaching at high velocity. It's not conforming to any known laws of physics." Through the viewport, a shimmering distortion appeared, warping the starfield around it. As it drew closer, it resolved into a swirling vortex of energy, pulsing with colors that seemed to defy description. Evasive maneuvers, Zara commanded, but Derek's response chilled her to the bone. Controls aren't responding, Captain. It's pulling us in. The Artemis shuddered as it was drawn inexorably towards the anomaly. Zara gripped her chair, her mind racing. Yuki, any ideas? The physicist's voice was strained but focused. It's some kind of spatial rift. If we can generate a counter-frequency with the quantum drive, we might be able to break free. Do it, Zara ordered. Yuki's hands became a blur as he reconfigured the drive. The ship groaned under the strain, alarms blaring from every console. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed as if the Artemis would be torn apart. Then, with a final surge of power, they broke free. The anomaly collapsed behind them, leaving only empty space and stunned silence. As the crew caught their breath, Aisha's voice broke the quiet. Captain, you need to see this. On the main screen, a star chart appeared. Aisha's voice trembled slightly as she continued. According to our instruments, we've traveled over 30 light years in a matter of minutes. The implications hit them all at once. They were now mere days away from their destination, a journey that should have taken years compressed into a single terrifying moment. As the initial shock wore off, the crew threw themselves into analyzing what had happened. Theories flew back and forth: a naturally occurring wormhole, an artificial construct left by the alien civilization, or something beyond their comprehension. Zara listened to the debates, her mind already racing ahead to their next steps. Whatever it was, she interjected, silencing the room, it's put us in a position we weren't prepared for. We need to be ready for anything. The following days were a flurry of activity. Equipment was checked and rechecked, contingency plans were revised, and every scrap of data about their destination was reviewed. As they approached the alien star system, tension mounted. The signal that had brought them across the gulf of space grew stronger, its pulses a constant reminder of their purpose. Finally, the moment arrived. The alien world came into view, a blue-green jewel hanging in the void. Scans revealed an atmosphere similar to Earth's, with signs of advanced civilization on the surface. But something was wrong. I'm not detecting any active power sources, Chen reported, his brow furrowed in confusion. No transmissions, no artificial lights on the dark side. Aisha leaned in, studying the readouts. There are cities down there, but they look abandoned. A heavy silence fell over the command center. The implications were clear. They might be too late. Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. Prepare for orbital insertion. We came here to help, and that's exactly what we're going to do, even if all we can do now is uncover the truth. As the Artemis settled into orbit around the alien world, Zara gazed out at the planet below. Whatever had happened here, whatever secrets this civilization held, humanity's first steps into a larger universe were about to begin. The true test of their mission, and perhaps of humanity itself, lay on the surface of that silent, mysterious world. First contact. The descent module of the Artemis pierced through wispy clouds, its heat shield glowing as it entered the atmosphere of the alien world. Inside, Captain Zara Hendricks and her team were strapped in tightly, the tension palpable as they approached the surface. 30 seconds to touchdown, Major Derek Stone announced, his hands steady on the controls. Dr. Aisha Okafor double-checked her atmospheric readings. Air composition is remarkably Earth-like. Nitrogen, oxygen, trace gases, we should be able to breathe without assistance, but let's keep our helmets on for now. The module touched down with a gentle thud, kicking up a cloud of reddish dust. For a moment, all was still. Then Zara's voice broke the silence. We've come a long way for this team. Let's make it count. As the hatch opened, they were greeted by an alien landscape that was hauntingly familiar yet undeniably foreign. Rolling hills covered in vegetation that shimmered with an almost metallic quality stretched out before them. In the distance, the spires of an alien city pierced the sky. "My God," Dr. Yuki Tanaka breathed, his eyes wide behind his visor. "It's beautiful." Zara was the first to step onto the alien soil, her boot leaving an imprint in the soft earth. This is Captain Zara Hendricks of the Earthship Artemis, taking humanity's first step on an alien world. As the team spread out to begin their initial survey, Chen Wei stayed close to the module, setting up their communication array. "I'm still not detecting any active transmissions," he reported. "But there's something, like an echo of the original signal we received." Asa knelt by a patch of the shimmering vegetation, carefully taking samples. "The plant life here is incredible. It seems to have properties of both flora and technology, almost as if it was engineered." As they approached the outskirts of the alien city, the true scale of the structures became apparent. Towering buildings of an iridescent material that seemed to shift and flow in the light loomed over them, but there was an eerie stillness to the place, a sense of abandonment that sent a chill down their spines. "No signs of recent activity," Derek noted, scanning the area. "It's like they just vanished." Zara's voice was firm as she gave her orders. "We'll set up base camp here and begin our investigation. Yuki, I want you and Chen to focus on deciphering any technology you can find. Isa, continue your biological survey. Derek, you're with me. We're going to try to find some answers." As the team split up, Zara and Derek made their way deeper into the city. The streets were lined with what appeared to be vehicles, long since dormant. Structures that might have been homes or businesses stood silent, their doors open as if the inhabitants had simply walked away. "It's like a neutron bomb went off," Derek muttered. "Everything's intact, but there's no one home." They came to a large circular plaza, dominated by a massive spherical structure. Its surface was covered in intricate patterns that pulsed faintly with an inner light. "This has to be it," Zara said, her voice hushed with awe. "The source of the signal." As they approached, the patterns on the sphere began to shift and swirl. A seam appeared, widening into an entrance. "Captain," Derek's hand went to his sidearm. "Are you sure we should?" But Zara was already moving forward. "We came all this way, Major. We need to know." Inside, they found themselves in a vast chamber. The walls were lined with what appeared to be stasis pods, thousands of them stretching as far as the eye could see. And in each pod, barely visible through a frosted surface, was the outline of a humanoid figure. "There, alive," Zara whispered, her hand touching one of the pods, in some kind of suspended animation. Suddenly, a holographic image flickered to life in the center of the chamber. A being similar in form to a human, but with elongated limbs and large, almond-shaped eyes, stood before them. "Greetings, travelers," the being spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "If you are hearing this message, then our call has been answered, though perhaps too late for us." The hologram continued, explaining the fate of their civilization. A cosmic event, a burst of radiation from the core of the galaxy, had threatened to sterilize their world. With no means of escape, they had placed their entire population in stasis, sending out a call for help to the stars. "We slumber, waiting for those who might awaken us, who might help us rebuild or find a new home," the being said. "But our power reserves dwindle. Soon we will fade into eternal sleep." As the message ended, Zara and Derek stood in stunned silence. The weight of the responsibility that had just been placed on their shoulders was immense. "Captain," Derek finally spoke, his voice hoarse, "what do we do?" Zara's mind raced with the implications. This wasn't just first contact. This was the potential salvation of an entire species. But the challenges were enormous. How could they possibly hope to save millions of beings in stasis? And even if they could, where would they all go? She took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "We do what we came here to do, Major. We help. Contact the Artemis. We need every bit of data we can get on these stasis pods, and we need to send a message to Earth. Tell them we found survivors, and we're going to need a lot more ships." As they exited the sphere, the alien sun was setting, casting long shadows across the empty city. Zara looked up at the darkening sky, knowing that the decisions made in the coming days would shape the future not just of this alien race, but of humanity as well. The true test of their mission, and of humanity's place in the cosmos, had only just begun. The truth unveiled. The makeshift command center hummed with activity as the Artemis crew worked tirelessly to unravel the mysteries of the alien world. Holographic displays flickered with streams of data, and the air was thick with tension and excitement. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's eyes were bloodshot from lack of sleep, but they sparkled with enthusiasm as he addressed the team. The technology here it's beyond anything we could have imagined. Their understanding of quantum mechanics makes our best theories look like child's play. Captain Zara Hendricks nodded, her face etched with both wonder and concern. What about the stasis pods? Any progress on understanding how they work? Dr. Aisha Okafor stepped forward, her tablet displaying complex bio-readings. The aliens have essentially halted their biological processes at a quantum level. It's ingenious. But what? Zara pressed. Aisha's expression was grim. The system is failing. We estimate they have less than a year before the pods begin to malfunction. When that happens, the implication hung heavy in the air. Millions of lives, an entire civilization, could be lost. Major Derek Stone, who had been quietly listening, spoke up. What about the signal? Why did it stop after we arrived? Chen Wei, hunched over a console, looked up. I think I figured that out. The signal wasn't just a call for help, it was a key. Our arrival triggered a shutdown to conserve the last of their power for the stasis systems. Zara absorbed this information, her mind racing. So they put all their eggs in one basket. Us. As the team continued their analysis, a sudden alert blared from Chen's station. Captain, I'm detecting a massive energy surge from the central sphere. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and through the windows of their base camp, they saw the massive spherical structure pulsing with light. Everyone, move out, Zara ordered, leading the charge towards the alien citadel. As they approached, the entrance materialized once more. Inside, the chamber had transformed. The stasis pods lining the walls were now illuminated, their occupants clearly visible. In the center, where the hologram had once stood, a swirling vortex of energy had formed. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the vortex. It was one of the aliens, but unlike the sleepers in the pods, this one was fully conscious and alert. Greetings, humans of Earth, the alien spoke, its telepathic voice resonating in their minds. I am Zenta, last of the awakened ones. We have waited long for this moment. Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. I am Captain Zara Hendricks of the Artemis. We've come in response to your distress call. Zenta's large eyes blinked slowly. Yes, the call. A beacon of hope sent into the cosmos. But it was more than that. It was a test. The crew exchanged confused glances. Yuki spoke up. A test? What do you mean? For eons, we have watched the younger races of the galaxy, Genta explained. We saw civilizations rise and fall, consumed by their own ambitions or destroyed by cosmic calamities. We realized that the future of life in our galaxy depended on finding a species capable of true compassion, of risking everything to help those they had never met. The alien gestured to the pods around them. Our people do sleep, and the danger to them is real. But we, the awakened ones, created this scenario to find a worthy inheritor of our legacy. The implications of Genta's words began to sink in. This wasn't just about saving a dying race. It was about humanity proving itself on a cosmic scale. Aisha's voice was filled with a mix of awe and indignation. You mean this was all some kind of galactic job interview? Genta's expression was unreadable, in a sense, but the stakes could not be higher. Our civilization has unlocked secrets of the universe that, in the wrong hands, could bring about unimaginable destruction. We needed to be certain that those we entrusted with this knowledge would use it wisely. Derek, ever the pragmatist, cut to the chase. So what happens now? Do we pass your test? The alien's gaze swept over the human crew. You have shown great courage in coming here, and your intentions are noble. But the true test is yet to come. You must prove not only your willingness to help, but your ability to do so without compromising your own values or the well-being of your people. Zara stepped forward, her posture resolute. Tell us what we need to do. Gentai waved a hand, and the vortex behind it expanded, showing images of Earth and other worlds throughout the galaxy. The knowledge we possess could revolutionize your civilization overnight, but it could also destroy you if misused. You must find a way to save our people and integrate our knowledge without losing yourselves in the process. The alien's eyes locked with Zara's. You have one of your Earth years to present us with a plan. If we deem you worthy, we will not only share our knowledge, but also help you establish humanity as a guardian species of the galaxy. If you fail. The images in the vortex shifted, showing scenes of war, environmental devastation, and cosmic cataclysms. The consequences could be dire, not just for you, but for all life in this sector of the galaxy. As Zenter's form began to fade, its parting words echoed in their minds. We have given you the key to our salvation and to untold wonders. The question is, are you wise enough to use it? With that, the alien vanished, leaving the human crew standing in the vast chamber, the weight of an entire galaxy's future resting on their shoulders. Zara looked at her team, seeing the mix of fear, excitement, and determination in their eyes. Well, she said, a hint of a smile playing on her lips despite the gravity of the situation, it looks like we've got our work cut out for us. As they made their way back to their base camp, the true magnitude of their mission began to sink in. They had come seeking to save one civilization, only to find themselves responsible for shaping the destiny of countless worlds. The journey that had begun with a mysterious signal had now become humanity's greatest test. The next year would determine not just the fate of the sleeping aliens, but the future of Earth and its place in the cosmic order. Humanity's stand. The return journey to Earth was filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As the Artemis broke through the atmosphere, Captain Zara Hendricks gazed down at the blue marble that was home, acutely aware of how much had changed since they'd left. The news of their discovery had preceded them, and the world was waiting with bated breath. As they touched down at the newly constructed Unified Earth Space Command headquarters, Zara could see the crowds gathered beyond the security perimeter, their faces a mix of hope and fear. The debriefing lasted for days. World leaders, scientists, and military strategists pored over every detail of their encounter. The revelation of the true nature of the alien test sent shockwaves through the global community. So, let me get this straight, the US president said, leaning forward in her chair. These aliens are offering us the keys to the galaxy, but only if we can prove we're worthy. Zara nodded, her posture straight despite her exhaustion. That's correct, Madam President. We have 1 year to present a plan that demonstrates our ability to save their people and responsibly integrate their advanced knowledge into our civilization. The Chinese premier's voice crackled through the video link. And if we fail this test, we risk not only losing this opportunity, but potentially facing dire consequences. That's the situation as we understand it, Dr. Yuki Tanaka confirmed, his normally cheerful demeanor subdued by the weight of their task. The room erupted into heated debate. Some argued for full mobilization of Earth's resources towards this singular goal. Others cautioned restraint, fearing the potential for global destabilization. Through it all, Zara and her crew stood firm, advocating for a balanced approach that would unite humanity rather than divide it. In the end, a resolution was reached. The Artemis Initiative would be expanded into a global effort, drawing on the best minds and resources from every nation. But it would be done openly, with unprecedented transparency to the public. The following months saw a flurry of activity unlike anything in human history. Research centers sprang up around the globe, dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of the alien technology. Space programs that had once been competitors now worked in concert, racing to develop the means to transport millions of beings across interstellar distances. Dr. Aisha Okafor led a team of xenobiologists in developing life support systems that could sustain the aliens once they were awoken. Major Derek Stone coordinated with military and civilian agencies to plan for logistics of integrating an entire alien species into Earth's already strained ecosystem. But it was Dr. Yuki Tanaka's breakthroughs in quantum physics, inspired by what they'd seen on the alien world, that held the most promise and the most danger. The power contained in just one of these equations, Yuki explained to a rapt audience of world leaders, could provide clean energy for the entire planet, but it could also be weaponized to devastating effect. The challenge became not just solving the technical problems, but the ethical ones. How could humanity prove it could handle such advanced knowledge responsibly? Captain Zara Hendricks found herself at the center of it all, not just as the mission leader, but as a symbol of humanity's potential. Her speeches to the UN, her interviews with global media, all carried the same message. This was humanity's chance to prove it could unite for a common cause greater than itself. As the deadline approached, tensions rose. Fringe groups protested the allocation of resources to the alien cause. Conspiracy theories ran wild. There were even attempts to sabotage the project by those who feared change or loss of power. But for every setback, there were moments of triumph. Breakthroughs in medicine, inspired by the stasis technology, led to cures for several previously untreatable diseases. The global cooperation required for the project led to unprecedented diplomatic breakthroughs, resolving conflicts that had seemed intractable. In orbit, a fleet of new ships took shape, their designs incorporating the quantum principles learned from the alien data. They were to be the arcs that would transport the sleeping aliens to a new home, a terraformed Mars, chosen as a compromise to those who feared the impact of millions of new beings on Earth's fragile biosphere. With just weeks to go before their deadline, Zara stood before the United Nations General Assembly, preparing to present humanity's plan to the watching galaxy. "We came to the stars seeking new life," she began, her voice steady and clear. "What we found was a mirror, a reflection of our own potential, both for greatness and for folly. The plan we've developed isn't just about saving another species or gaining advanced technology. It's about proving to ourselves and to the cosmos that humanity can rise above its base instincts, that we can be the guardians our galaxy needs." As she laid out the details of the plan, the technological innovations, the ethical safeguards, the global cooperation that made it all possible, Zara could feel the weight of history on her shoulders. This wasn't just a speech, it was humanity's case for its place among the stars. "We stand here today, not as separate nations, but as one people, the people of Earth. We extend our hand in friendship to those who sleep among the stars and to all those who may be watching. We are ready to take our place in the greater community of the cosmos." As she finished, the assembly hall erupted in applause, but Zara's mind was already racing ahead to the final challenge that lay before them. They had made their case to humanity. Now they had to present it to those who held the future of galaxies in their hands. The Artemis prepared for its return journey to the alien world. As Earth receded behind them, Zara gazed out at the star-filled void, wondering what judgment awaited them. Humanity had risen to the challenge in ways she could never have imagined. But would it be enough? The fate of 2 civilizations, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The final test was about to begin. The final gambit. The Artemis hung in orbit around the alien world, its sleek form a testament to how far humanity had come in just 1 year. Captain Zara Hendricks stood on the bridge, her crew around her, each lost in their own thoughts as they prepared for humanity's final exam. "All systems a go, Captain," Major Derek Stone reported, his voice steady despite the tension. "The fleet is in position, and Mars Base 1 reports ready to receive." Zara nodded, taking a deep breath. "All right, team, this is it. Everything we've worked for comes down to this moment. Let's make Earth proud." As they descended to the planet's surface, the alien city came into view once more. But where before it had been eerily silent, now it hummed with a subtle energy. The massive sphere at its center pulsed with an inner light, as if awakening from a long slumber. The team made their way to the central chamber, their steps echoing in the cavernous space. As they entered, the air shimmered and Genter materialized before them, along with several other alien beings. "Greetings, humans of Earth," Genter's telepathic voice resonated in their minds. "You have returned as promised. We are eager to hear your proposal." Zara stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. "Honored awakened ones, on behalf of humanity and all the nations of Earth, we present our plan for the salvation of your people and the responsible integration of your knowledge into our civilization." Over the next several hours, Zara and her team laid out the details of their proposal. They described the fleet of ships waiting in orbit, designed to safely transport the stasis pods. They explained the terraforming of Mars, creating a new home for the alien species that would allow them to thrive while minimizing impact on Earth's ecosystems. Dr. Yuki Tanaka detailed the advancements in quantum physics and energy production, highlighting the safeguards put in place to prevent misuse. Dr. Aisha Okafor presented the medical breakthroughs, showing how the merging of human and alien biotechnology could benefit both species. Throughout it all, the aliens listened impassively, their large eyes unblinking, giving no hint of their thoughts. Finally, Major Derek Stone stepped forward. "We understand the immense responsibility that comes with the knowledge you're offering. That's why we've established the Galactic Ethics Council, a global body dedicated to ensuring that these advancements are used for the betterment of all, not just a select few." As the presentation concluded, Zara faced the aliens, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "We came to the stars seeking new life, new civilizations. What we found was a challenge to be better than we were, to rise above our differences and work together for a greater good. This plan isn't just about saving your people or advancing our own. It's a commitment to a shared future, a promise that humanity is ready to take its place as a responsible member of the galactic community." Silence fell over the chamber. The aliens conferred among themselves, their telepathic communication imperceptible to the human team. The moments stretched, feeling like an eternity. Finally, Genta stepped forward. "Humans of Earth, we have heard your proposal, and we have deliberated. Your plan is impressive. You have shown remarkable progress in a short time, and your commitment to ethical use of advanced knowledge is commendable." Zara felt a glimmer of hope, but Genta wasn't finished. "However," the alien continued, "we have one final test. A demonstration of your commitment to the principles you espouse." With a wave of its hand, Genta conjured a holographic display. It showed Earth, but not as they had left it. Cities were in flames, oceans rose to swallow coastlines, and the skies were dark with ash. "This is happening now," Genta explained. "A cascade of natural disasters, triggered by a solar flare that our technology could have easily prevented. We chose not to intervene to see how you would respond." The human team stared in horror at the scenes of devastation. Zora's mind raced, torn between the mission and the urgent need to return home. Genta's voice cut through their shock. "You face a choice. Return to Earth now, armed with the knowledge to save millions of your own kind, or stay and complete the mission to save our people. You cannot do both. Choose." The chamber fell silent as the weight of the decision pressed down on them. Billions of lives hung in the balance, both human and alien. Zara closed her eyes, her mind racing through possibilities. Then, slowly, a smile spread across her face. She opened her eyes, meeting Genta's gaze with newfound determination. "With all due respect," she said, her voice strong and clear, "we reject your choice. Humanity didn't come this far by accepting false dichotomies. We'll save both." She turned to her team, speaking rapidly. "Yuki, Use what we've learned about their quantum communication to contact Earth. Isa, start waking the medical teams in the fleet. Derek, prepare for emergency evacuation protocols for both species. As her team sprang into action, Zara faced the aliens once more. You asked us to prove we could handle advanced knowledge responsibly. Well, this is it. We're not choosing between your people and ours. We're choosing to save everyone, because that's what it means to be a guardian of the galaxy. For the first time, Gentai's impassive facade cracked, showing a glimmer of what might have been admiration. You continue to surprise us, humans. Very well. Let us see what you can do. What followed was a whirlwind of activity. The Artemis coordinated a massive rescue operation, using the alien quantum technology to guide Earth's efforts in mitigating the disasters. At the same time, they began the delicate process of reviving and transporting the alien sleepers. It was a monumental task, pushing the limits of both human determination and alien technology. There were losses, heartbreaking sacrifices, but also incredible acts of heroism and cooperation. As the dust settled, Earth began to heal, its people united as never before by the shared ordeal. And on Mars, a new civilization took its first steps, the revived aliens working alongside human colonists to build a shared future. In a ceremony broadcast across 2 worlds, Zara stood before a mixed audience of humans and aliens. Today marks not an ending, but a beginning. We have proven that when faced with impossible choices, we can forge our own path. The road ahead will not be easy, but we will walk it together, as neighbors, as allies, as fellow explorers of this vast and wondrous cosmos. As cheers erupted from the assembled crowd, Genta approached Zara, extending a hand in the human gesture of greeting. You have exceeded our expectations, Captain Hendricks. The galaxy will be watching your species with great interest. Zara took the alien's hand, feeling the weight of history in that simple gesture. We'll try not to disappoint, she said with a smile. As she looked out at the faces before her, human and alien, united in hope and purpose, Zara knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first true steps into the galactic community, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might hold. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with infinite possibilities, and humanity, tested and proven, was ready to answer their call.